I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. Kevin Grantham's in studio.
We're going to ask him for one of those state loans if he gets elected. If we have a guy in power, we got to take advantage of it.
Oh, yeah,
right?
as a treasurer? Yeah,
absolutely. He knows where all the money
that's
is.
the role he has, right?
Absolutely.
He just hands out checks.
Oh, yeah. I want one of those big novelty checks from him. He can come in and he can do something like name us the best radio talk showers.
Tips.
Oh, yeah, that mustache.
There's got to be a wax or something.
Things I can't grow.
Naturally grow.
I can't grow facial
maybe
hair.
It does.
I know. That's awful.
We're going to have fun.
This morning.
Kevin Grantham running as for the Republican nomination first. Then right now he's the only one in the race, which is great. And he's going to possibly face Breonna Tattone. By the way, I got ridiculed when I was speaking for Turning Point about my comments about Breonna Tattone. Oh. When I said, if the dude can't figure out if he's a lady or a dude, he probably can't figure out the numbers for the state. And then the trans communist read that tweet back to me. And I told him how much I loved the fact they read my tweets back to me. It was a fun little moment. Turning Point, Colorado School of Mines. But yeah, Breonna Tattone. Jeff Bridges are all running along with some of these other guys. I don't really know. But did get an email from Jeff Bridges' team. They want to come on. So, by the way, Wednesday we're going to have Trish Calaversi on the show. She's the Democrat challenging Lauren Boebert. So we're actually getting Democrats coming in.
No, they've seen the light, finally. Yeah. They know that we matter.
We're actually
they just can't ignore us.
Nice people.
Yeah. But they just can't ignore us. That's the other part.
Yes. Yeah. That is true. They can't. Denver's top talk radio show. Well, Kevin Grantham's going to talk all about his race for treasure. Now, though, is time for the news.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good Monday morning, 41 and sunny in Denver. It's gorgeous outside. Expecting a high of 59 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story.
Venezuela acted not only as a large and massive transshipment point by air and by sea, but also allowed drug traffickers to operate with reckless abandon inside their borders. And their direct target of deployment was the United States of America.
That's Kash Patel, who's let down a lot of people in 11 months, but true statement there. Venezuelan dictator thug Nicolas Maduro will make a court appearance in New York later today.
The 63-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn to the courthouse in Lower Manhattan via an armored vehicle and helicopter. Many people already waiting outside.
Right now it's not over. The Venezuelan regime is still there. They have different crazy people that we have to take care as well.
I think there are two sides. There's people who are celebrating because it's the end of an era. But on the other side, there's people protesting because we know the interest of the U.S. It is to get the gas and oil of Venezuela.
Maduro and his wife Celia Flores face drug trafficking, conspiracy, and other charges. From Lower Manhattan, I'm Natalie Migliori.
For over 25 years, Venezuelans have been crying out for help as Hugo Chavez ripped their freedom and wealth from under their feet, and Maduro continued it. Speaking of corruption, another fraud, Minnesota Governor Tampon Tim Walz ending his re-election bid. Walz exposed by independent journalist, a patriot, Nick Shirley, who showed us abandoned daycares that received taxpayer money, millions of dollars. Walz said, quote, this is hilarious. Every minute I spend defending my own political interests would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals like himself who prey on our generosity and the cynics who prey on our differences. Unbelievable. Walz is scheduled to speak next hour. That should be very entertaining. The Prime Minister of Greenland is pushing back on 47's threat to take over the self-governing territory. Prime Minister Jens Frederick Nielsen referred to the president's renewed interest as completely unacceptable in a post as he pointed to the long-standing alliance. 47's threat came Sunday. Nielsen's post said, "Enough is enough," as he stressed the importance of a respectful and loyal relationship with the United States. The Pentagon will censure Arizona Senator Mark Kelly over that video where he told service members to refuse illegal orders. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth called the video seditious and said in a statement on X that the department has initiated retirement-grade determination proceedings that will result in a loss of pay. Hegseth said the Democrat knows as a retired Navy captain he's still accountable to military justice, and the American people expect just that. Sunday afternoon at Mile High in their best uniforms, the Broncos and the Chargers.
It's a 3rd and 5, and Lance from the pocket gets picked off the deflection, and here we go with the run back inside the 20. McMillan is in for the touchdown.
Jaquan McMillan, pick 6. And the defense led the Broncos to victory over the Chargers Sunday, and they locked up the top seed in the AFC with a 19-3 victory. Bo Nix, no touchdown passes, 141 yards passing, rush for a team-high 49 yards. They need to correct that. Will Lutz hit all 4 of his field goal attempts. Head coach Sean Payton after the game.
2 home wins, and that's exciting. It's why you do all of it. It's why you work late hours. It's why the players train and lift, and it's a big deal.
And one of the standout players all season long, linebacker Nick Benito.
I think it was 8 and 9, coach year, first European, and playoffs last year. And so now being able to be the 1 seed, it just, shows the toughness and just the will and, ability to keep able to grow. I feel like it's been pretty special.
So the Orange and Blue with the first round bye this weekend, and then home field advantage coming up in less than 2 weeks at Mile High. Once again, finish the regular season at 14-3. They'll take on the Jags or the Bills. Black Monday in the NFL. This is the day NFL coaches usually get fired. Falcons have let go of head coach Raheem Morris, and the Browns say goodbye to head coach Kevin Stefanski, who probably can't wait to get out of Cleveland after everything that he has gone through. Nuggets lose to the Nets 127-115. Avs fall to the Panthers 2-1 the final. 40 in Centennial, 39 in Lakewood, 41 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill as they have returned for 2026. And they are back. What a show. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
A mix of clouds, sun, and continued unseasonably warm here in Denver through midweek. At the end of the week, we'll finally see a bit of a change. Temperatures will be upper 50s and lower 60s and breezy today. Lower to mid-30s tonight, mid to upper 50s Tuesday, and mid to upper 50s Wednesday. Lows at night mostly in the 30s. Increasingly cloudy and turning much colder Thursday into Friday. Thursday into Friday will bring a chance of snow showers. By Friday, highs only 30s. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
I love these guys that have lifetimes of public community service. They just like to help people. And this is where they found their calling. Kevin Grantham, Senate president, served in the Colorado Senate 8 years. Now a county commissioner down in Fremont, stepping up to run for treasurer. Right now he's the only Republican in the race. And he's going to face quite a field on the Democrat side. But he joins us live in studio. I could call you Senator. I can call you Commissioner. I'm going to go with Commissioner. Commissioner Grantham, thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
So
really appreciate it.
Let's first talk about the difference between those two offices, because one's legislative, one's more executive. Do you like being a county commissioner or senator better?
Being a county commissioner is fantastic with the direct ability to affect people's lives on a daily basis. Fixing potholes and grading roads and all those sorts of things. You can actually make a difference in the day-to-day life of folks. When you come up to Denver, you go to D.C., you're dealing in a lot bigger picture issues, and those are important. But helping people on the day-to-day basis isn't what happens in Denver or D.C.
Yeah. Well, let's talk starting your campaign for treasurer. Why do you want to be a state treasurer?
Well, that's a great question, especially considering the last couple of hours listening to your discussions. Going from talking about Maduro and Venezuela and coming down to talking about treasure, hopefully people will stay awake talking about this office. This is not a big deal. This is not a sexy office that people run for big name ID. It is an important one. I think from my standpoint, running for this is a necessity for us to put good people into harm's way, so to speak, in running for these offices, making a stand for our conservative ideals in trying to get a foothold back into state government for balance. We need balance back in government, and we need fiscal responsibility back in our state offices, back in our state government. There's lots of reasons to point to the last 8 years of mismanagement of our state treasurer's office in conjunction with the joint budget committees, the legislative majorities, and the mismanagement of our state tax dollars.
That's Kevin Grantham. He's currently a county commissioner running for state treasurer. Go to kevingrantham.com. kevingrantham.com. You mentioned mismanagement. What did Dave Young do wrong as our current treasurer?
Well, probably the highlight on that is we remember Walker Stapleton. He was our state treasurer for 8 years, from 2011 to 2018. And his office went from 31 employees, FTEs, to 32 over the course of 8 years. Now, that's good fiscal management. That's good employee management of an office. Since Dave Young has been in for the last 7 years, it's gone from 32 to 70.
Oh, whoa! I didn't know that. 70?
70.
Wait.
So that's always good for shock value, Jeff. It's ridiculous. It's the microcosm. It's the great example of state bloat, of government bloat in one single office. It's more than doubled. It's 118%, and he's not even done with his term yet. We still have another year of his term, and we obviously we're looking at things like this. We're looking at the Great Colorado Payback, the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund, and the management of that, and the working with the JBC, working with the legislature and the majorities in the legislature to raid that fund in order to balance their budget. A balancing that is perhaps correct on paper, but using it to the tune of tens of millions of dollars in order to create this paper balancing in the state budget. And that is not taxpayer dollars. Those dollars actually belong to the people that who lost that money via whatever mechanism that they may have lost it.
Is the expansion of that office in part because of the massive growth and expansion of government programs? There's lots of checks going out right now.
Well, that's a great question, Jeff, because there's really no good answer to that. There has been some programs that the treasurer has requested to be put in place. I think they've just actually increased it over the course of time, over the last 7 years, in order to try to help with the Great Colorado Payback, the missingmoney.com sort of thing, and trying to get that money back into folks' hands. But some of these other programs that they put in place, he's gone to the JBC over and over and over again and asked for more FTE to the tune of 8 to 10 or whatever per year In fact, this last time, the JBC, to their credit, including one of my potential opponents, who is the chair of the JBC, they told departments, including the Treasurer's Office, to reduce staff by 8 to 10%. The Treasurer's Office response to that was requesting an additional 8.5 FTE. Ultimately, I think they got them, and now we're up to 70 FTE in the Treasurer's Office.
That's Kevin Grantham. He's a candidate for treasurer here in Colorado. You're running as a Republican. I make the claim, and you can tell me I'm wrong. Believe me, people tell me I'm wrong all the time. Colorado is the most progressive state in the nation right now, that it's chock full of socialists. I go down and talk to them. They love Bernie Sanders. AOC, according to Magellan Strategies, the most admired political leader we have right now. How do you win in a state full of socialists, Kevin Grantham?
Because there is that great middle in Colorado still, that we can still swing back to our side with good common sense policy, that we can still talk to about their kitchen table budgets. The people that we can still talk to in that middle that have been turned off by some of the political chicanery over the last decade or so. And I think we can still have that conversation with those folks that will swing back to us because they're tired of the far left idealism that they're seeing in this state.
Do you think they're tired of it? Because it seems like Colorado's more expensive than it's ever been before. It's got a bigger government. It's feeding kids. They coming up with every program out there for the government to run. Do you think they're tired of it?
I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
No, I'm hearing that. Now, you're not going to hear that if you're going to the far left progressive parades, the Bernie Sanders rallies. You're not going to hear that. But when you are talking to a lot of folks that you've seen the voter registration in this state, both parties are losing registrants in droves and going unaffiliated. That does not make the unaffiliated this monolithic middle. There is still a great number that lean left. There's still a great number that lean right. And you're talking about this middle 10 to 15% that can swing either way. And we've been losing them. We've been losing them over the last 2, 3, 4 cycles. And we have to come back to some common sense kitchen table policies that we can address their budgets, that we can address affordability, that we can address the cost of milk and eggs and gas. Federal, state, local, all political offices. I think we have the message to do that. Will we get the opportunity, and will we have the people in place in order to be able to get that message into their ears and hopefully transferring that over onto a ballot? I think it's possible. This race in particular was the closest one back in 2022 when Lang Zayas ran as the Republican. And I think this is kind of in our wheelhouse when it comes to budgets, when it comes to fiscal conservatism, fiscal management of state dollars. I think there is a great opportunity with this race that we can actually win.
Do you think all the fraud in Minnesota, the fraud in California, Doge, just the waste that's happening out there is going to, and the people's frustration with that, is that going to benefit you?
Absolutely. I think this is all part of that greater conversation of the mismanagement. And this isn't even mismanagement that we're talking about in Minnesota. This is out and out fraud. Right. Now, that's one of those things that remains to be seen if it's happening at anywhere near that level here in Colorado.
Well, like, for instance, in Denver, they already know. Channel 9 that did a whole thing. They can't account for a third of their spending on homelessness.
Right. Right.
Like, it's already a headline. But then the voters of Denver are like, let's hand Mike Johnston a bond package of $1 billion or $1 trillion or whatever it was. So that's why I'm so pessimistic on our voters. But
sure. You're only pessimistic because we have no reason to be optimistic considering our last couple or 3 cycles. But I'm optimistic that people are at that edge. They're at the razor's edge of making that decision of, okay, what we've been doing the last 2, 3, 4 cycles isn't working. Right. And those are some of those middle voters that we're talking to that I think are ready to switch their votes.
Yeah. That or they're leaving the state of Colorado.
Unfortunately, that's true. Right.
We're talking with Kevin Grantham. He's running for treasurer here in Colorado. 8 years with the Colorado Senate, served as the Senate president, and then is now a county commissioner with Fremont. You were the leader of the Senate when Republicans were in control.
I was.
What do you think happened in Colorado between your leadership of the Senate to now near super minority status, at least in the House?
Well, that great middle voter block here in Colorado. Remember, that was 2018. That was the first midterm of the Trump presidency number 1. And there was a lot of backlash in Colorado back then in that midterm. And the Colorado voters, I think, took it out on a lot of us here in the state. We lost all of our statewide offices. We lost the state Senate. We went almost into super minority position in the House. And, a lot of that had to do with the federal politics and how that kind of filtered down to the progressive voter bloc here in Colorado. And we paid the price for it.
But Trump's going to be on the ballot, or Trump, not his name, but his influence is going to be directed on this ballot. So how do you overcome that?
Absolutely. We point to some of those things that we've seen positive here in the nation. Look at gas prices right now, and look at the prices in the grocery store. Things are better, and we also don't have the ongoing shenanigans in D.C. when they're impeaching the president over and over and over again. We don't have that constant barrage. We do have a barrage, but it's nothing like it was in the first term. And I think we have gone through the Biden presidency, which I still think the hangover from that is still going to help us here in 2026.
Who do you want to be on the ballot with you when you run for governor?
For governor?
Yeah. You're running for Secretary of State or for treasurer. There's going to be a name on that ballot. Who do you want a name on that ballot?
There are, it's a very important. I think this is an important point, Jeff, that you bring up, because when we talk about a slate, we talk about people that have good common sense. We talk about people that have a good, calm message and the happy warriors for the conservative message. That's what we need. We don't need angry people. We don't need folks that are going to go out there and just try to beat people into voting for them. We have to convince people. We have to have those conversations. That person, whoever it is at the top of the ticket, whether it's the U.S. Senate race or the governor race, they need to be the leader in bringing that conservative message. I think there's a couple or three of them that are capable of it. And
have you endorsed anybody?
I won't. I haven't.
You won't? You worked with Barb Kirkmeyer. You're not going to endorse her?
Actually, we never served at the same time.
Really? Okay.
She came in, I think, the same year I was heading out the door, back in 1819 in there. I have worked with some of the others directly, like Senator Baisley, who is now making an announcement actually today for something else.
I'm waiting to see what that one is. There's lots of announcements. You got Lopez, you got Wallace, you got Baisley.
I think the more important thing, and when we look at a race like this, and this is what I tell everybody, Jeff, is I'm the only Republican running for state treasurer, as you mentioned, but I'm also the only Republican not running for governor in the state of Colorado.
You might be the last one. Right. But so Victor Marks seems to have a lot of energy and appeal. Barb Kirkmeyer, to me, it seems like it's going to be down between those two. Scott Bottoms, I think, had a little bit of his constituency pulled away by Victor Marks. I'm not sure what Baisley's going to do. I'm not sure who Joe Altman polls from, if anybody. I think he's kind of got his own universe. So I don't know. Marks, Bailey, or Victor Marks and Barb Kirkmeyer seem to be the two. Is that your analysis? Where the energy is going to be?
It is. Most of the fervor that we've seen has gone to Victor Marks right now, but Barb, I think, has a different universe, as you were talking about, with Scott Bottoms and Victor Marks and Joel Altman. I think they're all, you can kind of see where those candidates think their universe is in relation to the other candidates by who they're attacking.
Right, yeah.
And
right.
I think we see that from some of Scott's group attacking the Victor group and whatnot. And right now, Barb's kind of out there not receiving any of that attention. And they're fighting over this universe while she's got her universe over here.
Yeah, I mean, Westward saying she's a person to watch, you know,
Yeah.
and Patty Calhoun was on our show saying that she'd like to see a Barb Kirkmeyer. So I see the moderates kind of looking at Barb Kirkmeyer as a potential
I feel if
opportunity.
Barb can avoid the slings and arrows and stay out of some of the muck that's going to be involved in Victor Marx's run, I think she comes out cleaner on the other end if she can survive that primary. And I'm curious about Marx as a disruptor, because Kevin Grantham, you were talking earlier about whether or not the Colorado voter is ready for a change of horses. And I think that while there are a lot of independents out there that may be looking at a change in leadership, I also think that we can't discount that inside the GOP, Marx represents a change of a horse as well. And so people that are inside that tent may not like the direction of the current GOP, and they may be looking for something new. So there could be layers and layers to voter frustration that can change where constituents are going. Yeah, this could be an interesting one.
Oh, it is already is.
Yeah.
But whoever gets to that race, you're gonna be happy to serve alongside.
I will be happy to serve alongside them, and campaign. I often use the phrase "sharing a stage with," because it's important that we come together and lock arms and move forward and try to win elections.
What do you think? What Greg Lopez is deciding to do to run as an independent?
I haven't had a discussion with him. I've only seen his video, like most of the state has at this point. I'm a little disappointed, because if he's successful and he's able to get signatures, which there's no guarantee of that at this point, if he's able to get signatures for being an unaffiliated candidate for governor, that ultimately helps split the vote. And I'm worried that this maneuver will not help us in the end take back Colorado.
That's Kevin Grantham. Kevin's running for state treasurer here in Colorado. KevinGrantham.com. KevinGrantham.com. When we come back, I want to ask you who you think you're going to face and what you think some of their primary weaknesses are. You have Breonna Tattone. He's well known in the state for being Colorado's first transgender lawmaker. And then you have Jeff Bridges, who served as a member of the state Senate and has been a long-time Democrat candidate here in Colorado, an elected official. So who do you think you're going to face? What are some of their weaknesses? Why can you do a better job? We're going to talk about that more with Kevin Grantham coming up. Folks, let's talk the gun room. If you listen to me for any amount of time, you know how much I care deeply about freedom, responsibility, and supporting local businesses that have stood the test of time. That's why I want to tell you about the Gun Room. The Gun Room has been Denver's oldest firearms dealer since 1982. And when you walk in, you really feel it. Real wood, real craftsmanship, a shop that looks like a gun store, less plastic, more tradition. They buy, sell, and consign any and all firearms from antique and vintage to hunting and tactical, and they do something big box stores never will. They work closely with families who've lost a loved one and need help handling a gun collection with care and respect. Inventory changes daily with over 1,000 firearms in stock. So if you're thinking about buying, especially with new restrictive laws coming, you should act now. Support local, support family-owned, support freedom. Visit denvergunroom.com or call 303-237-1300, 303-237-1300, denvergunroom.com. That's the Gun Room, a Colorado original. All right, we'll continue with Kevin Grantham. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Live in studio is the man with the greatest mustache in Colorado politics, Kevin Grantham. You got to check him out on X or YouTube. Go to 710KNUS there. You can see. Now, does that just twist itself now?
I wish. I wish. I joke that, this. I never paid so much attention to what my routine in the morning until I grew this mustache out.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of effort.
It's your signature. Kevin Grantham, 8 years with the Colorado Senate, served as Senate President, Fremont County Commissioner, now running for the Republican nomination, the only Republican in the race for state treasurer, likely to face either Jeff Bridges or Breonna Tattone. Who do you think you're going to face? Who's your guess? Where's the money behind?
The money, literally, is probably behind Mr. Bridges. I think there's a good reason to, a good rationale to look at that and say, he's got the ability to raise that kind of money and also has access to his own money in order to run this race. Tattone, I don't know for sure. I would say that there's maybe a chance there that Tattone could prevail in a primary just because of the current state, the progressive state of the Democrat Party. But I would guess that Mr. Bridges would be the one I'll be facing in November.
Yeah, there's a few dynamics there. One, I think people are kind of tired of the trans issue. Whatever, we just want you to serve us well. We don't care about the gender identity. But then two, Colorado tends to vote pale, male, and stale. Mike Johnston, Hickenlooper, Bennett, all that stuff. You're not stale. You're fun. But Jeff Bridges seems to follow into that. And he's not the actor. That would be one other thing. But what's wrong with Jeff Bridges? Why are you a better candidate than Jeff Bridges?
Well, first of all, Jeff is actually a really nice guy. And don't tell him I said that. No, you can tell him I said that. He is actually a really nice guy. I think where we're going to be able to draw some clear distinctions is his role in the state legislature. When we look at the budget deficit over the last 2 or 3 cycles, 2 or 3 legislative sessions, you can't blame everything on Trump. You can't blame everything on the Republican Congress. Some of these things were happening long before the big, beautiful bill happened. Some of these things were happening long before even Trump got back in office. Some of these fiscal woes have been happening, and it's been happening on Jared Polis's watch. It's been happening on the current JBC majority's watch, including Mr. Bridges. So they are the ones that have
being the Joint Budget
Committee,
Yep.
which I sat on myself for 2 years. So there are things that he's going to have to answer for and quit obfuscating some of the issues here and actually answer for their role in overspending and overcommitting state dollars to Medicaid expansion and to many of the other expansions of government through the creation of new departments under the executive branch. They've overextended themselves, and then the chickens came home to roost.
What I've noticed among Democrats when I talk to them is this. I don't think they're evil people. I don't. I think that they profoundly believe that creating a government program is a compassionate thing to do. Right? They look at the world and they go, there's people not eating, government program. There's people without health care, government program. There's people without housing, government program. And then they go to bed at night feeling like they solved some problem in the world, which they didn't. How do you break through to the independent or Democrat-leaning voter who goes, the government is an avenue of compassion?
With great difficulty, Jeff, because I remember hearing just a couple hours ago, we were talking about cultures and cultural change in some of these countries. We talk about regime change, but regimes that get changed and what they change into don't stick because the cultural base of those countries hasn't changed. And hundreds, if not thousands of years of conditioning don't just change overnight. And that doesn't change overnight in the state either when it comes to the cultural base of the voters. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some education on our part in order to get the message out there that while you see the government as a solution, we see government as the problem. Now, that's an easy mantra to just float out there, but we actually have to come up with solutions that say, what if government sat this one out and we let the free market do this? If we let our capitalistic tendencies that we've been based on for 250 years to move forward with this idea when it comes to affordable housing, when it comes to our child care and things like that, things that we want to be kept passionate about. And what they don't understand, that we have failed to get the message out, is that we actually are compassionate about those things. We want those things to be fixed. We just don't agree that government is the best option, if an option at all, to make those things happen.
That's Kevin Grantham. He's currently a Fremont County Commissioner, served with the Colorado Senate for 8 years, including as the president of the Senate, now running for the Republican nomination for treasurer here in Colorado. He's the only Republican in this race. You can go to his website, kevingrantham.com, kevingrantham.com. One of your key platforms, making Colorado affordable. Again, tell us your plan.
Making Colorado affordable again, we have so much that that's a big topic. Looking at the reckless spending that we've seen over what we just talked about with the legislature and the majority in the legislature, the reckless spending. We look at the constant pressure on the taxpayer to pay more and give more and pay more and then give more, and the constant and unrelenting assault on the taxpayer at the ballot box. We need to just take that step back and quit asking the taxpayer for more and asking the government to do less and take less of our money. That's first and foremost. We look at things like affordable housing. One of the things that my potential opponent is talking about is taking the state tax dollars, the investment portfolio, and taking that out of clear, safe investment portfolios, national investment portfolios, and bringing them back in those dollars back into Colorado into very much more high-risk investment situations. That is not good investment policy when we start looking at what the state treasurer's job is. And so
like crypto? Is Jeff Bridges going to be investing in crypto?
That I can't answer. I don't know that. But looking to take those dollars and invest them in ways that put our tax dollars at risk. And that is not the state treasurer's role. And so affordable housing, that's one of those things we need to look at regulatory reform on a state and local level. And what we have right now is a governor and a legislature that they like to talk about affordability, but what they do is put up the roadblocks and throw the stick in the spoke, so to speak, in order to get us down the road to where we can actually have affordable housing with green energy policies and some of the other policies that we're seeing come down as mandates to the counties and taking over our roles for land use regulations and land use decisions. They're wanting to put that in the state level and take the decision-making away from local governments. Those sort of things only add to the bottom line cost of affordability. And every action they're taking, even though they're speaking about affordability over here, they're doing the exact opposite over here to make things affordable. And those are the things that we have to fix in this state. And that's a top-down thing. We need to fix our leadership in the state, whether it's the governor, whether it's the treasurer, and other offices in the legislature.
I think Trump's demonstrated that leadership is what makes a big difference, right? I read Kamala Harris's book. Her solution to everything was another committee. We're going to create a committee to deal with Iran and Israel and Gaza and Hezbollah, and we're going to get a committee to deal with the border. Trump just comes in and just deals with it. I think Colorado needs that type of executive leadership at the top in the treasurer's office as well. And Kevin Grantham can provide that. KevinGrantham.com, KevinGrantham.com. Go check him out. Support him there. He's the single Republican running in this race. So we'll likely see who he's going to face on the Democrat side. But Kevin Grantham, thank you for your time today. We appreciate
Thanks for
you
having
joining
me.
us.
Really appreciate it, guys.
All right, let's talk rugged mountain and modern rugged leather. From city streets to mountain trails, your gear should go wherever life takes you. That's why at Modern Rugged Leather, every bag is handcrafted from premium, responsibly sourced leather designed to look sharp, last long, and tell a story of its own. Each stitch, buckle, and strap reflects timeless craftsmanship. It's beautiful. I mean, I got a bag myself. It is absolutely fantastic. It's backed by a lifetime warranty because quality shouldn't quit when the adventure begins. Whether it's the boardroom or the back roads, Modern Rugged Leather helps you carry confidence every step of the way. Modern Rugged Leather, modern style, timeless durability, backed for life. Life takes you places. Make sure your gear keeps up. Shop the full collection and find yours today at modernrugged.com. Again, that's modernrugged.com. We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Great conversation with Kevin Grantham. He's a legendary figure in Colorado politics. Glad to have him in studio. Yeah. Bill, it's going to be an uphill battle to win a statewide in Colorado. Do you think the voters can really change?
Yeah,
I'm pessimistic. I think they're all a bunch of Bernie bros.
Well, I do think they can change, but I think part of the problem is that the GOP message has been a little difficult in my mind the last few years. And part of that being, in my opinion, too much time fighting social issues, not enough time fighting the economic issues. And I think that's where hay can be made. And if the GOP wants to win those larger state offices, I think they need to talk brass tacks. That's why if Kirkmeyer gets out of the primary, if I am Bennett or Weiser and I come out of the Dem primary, the one person I don't want to face is Kirkmeyer, because she will have the receipts and she will have the math. Neither one of Weiser or Bennett are charismatic.
We've run Kirkmeyer candidates like before, but with Walker Stapleton.
But if you remember, I disagree. The Walker Stapleton, there's an issue.
He wasn't into the social issues at all.
The issue, though, for Walker Stapleton, though, is that comes off being more of a blue blood. It's his time to run because of a connection here. He's the guy that's anointed because of that. In that election, that was more of my impression, that this is the well-heeled guy who has all the right connections in the party, and now it's his turn. Yeah.
You know who could win statewide?
Who?
Dan Kaplis with Dan Kaplis Law. This guy is an institution unto himself in Colorado. People trust him because he's been delivering 40 years of justice to people hurt in serious motor vehicle crashes. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Kaplis Law, the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Kaplis Law's serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call. Just put his phone number in your phone now. So if you get hurt in a car accident, you can call him. 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551 or hit dankaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S Law.com. Tomorrow, Billy, Ray Lopez joining us.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
He's now an independent. He was a Republican congressman, now an independent. Is this a ticket splitter? Are we back in 2010? Tom Tancredo, Dan Mays style of activities.
Is he going to be splitting the Republican vote, or does he have enough of what both groups like that he becomes really attractive to those unaffiliates?
Ooh, boy, it's going to be a fascinating conversation tomorrow. So you're not going to want to miss it. Bill and I back.
We are.
So glad to have you all. All the calls were wonderful. We appreciate you all. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader. We are News Talk 710 KNUS.